I'm Avaris Arcade, back with the Winter Tower. Last time, we got into the tower, we made a deal with a very tricksy wizard, we dealt with some elves that were dealing with that snow sickness sugar thing, and then after meeting a new horn elf, we decided to take a little walk in the woods and got ourselves horribly lost. Something very strange is going on, and we're about to find out what. Let's dive in. I had never gotten lost in the woods before. Yet, I couldn't find the Winter Tower despite walking for quite a while. I had memorized my surroundings, so I was sure I hadn't wandered too far away. Even so, I was undeniably lost. I took a compass out of my pocket. Though I don't use this often, it's better than nothing. It was bizarre to find myself lost in the woods, in spite of my instincts and experience, telling me I was moving in the right direction. Magic. Magical interference is going on. I walked in the direction the compass pointed towards. Yes, that was what I did. I should mark the trees. I marked every tree I walked past. This way I wouldn't walk around in circles. This method, however, proved to be useless as well. It seemed as though I was moving in the opposite direction from what I intended. When I turned left, I moved right, and vice versa. My sense of direction is being messed with. There was no point in moving forward, so I decided to take a break under a tree. I mean, it's either the forest that has the spell, or a Katarina that does. Luckily, I had my rapier strapped to my waist. I could defend myself if someone tried to attack me. I should stay alert in case of wild beasts. I wouldn't have been as worried about being chased if Shadow had been with me. Why did this happen? The soot cook? Nah, it's probably not the cookie's fault. Unless the wizard cursed us. The baby elf pranked me? That's a pretty dangerous prank. I mean, maybe? The elves are pretty awful, but I would hope not. It's a baby. It shouldn't have that kind of malice already. I became lazy. No idea. This is probably more fair. Something happened, but we're not sure what. We honestly don't have enough evidence. I'm gonna go with, maybe I'm just being lazy. And we just need to try again. You know, marking the trees, following the compass, and if you know it's the sense of direction just being messed with, maybe there's a way to game that, I don't know. I've certainly become lazier, but I was fine this morning. I even returned to the tower without the aid of a compass. Well, if that happened, then it had to have been something super recent. I don't know about the cookies or the elf. Since my sense of direction had been normal this morning, I concluded that something must have happened soon before I left. The cookies, the elf... I mean, I don't want to get negative points by suspecting them, if there's a point system. Whatever. No idea. This isn't the time to sit around and theorize about the cause of my condition. Yep, solutions are slightly more important than assessing. Oh. Growls resounded from the nearby brush. There are quite a few of them. Judging by the sound, I was being accosted by a pack of hungry wolves. It's always wolves. I stood up and wielded my rapier, ready for combat. While teaching me how to hunt, my father once told me the following. Even if I never went myself, I should at least understand the art of the hunt. Bring it on. An attack is coming from the right. Attack from the right, slash to the right. Why does this feel like a trap? This feels like a trap. I'm a save. This feels like a trap, but I'm gonna have to try it. Per my training, I swiped my rapier to the right. However, the weapon went in the opposite direction and pierced nothing but air. Okay, I get you. It was a trap. And there's no back button. Dang it, I forgot. My senses are reversed. Okay, I'll keep that in mind for next time. Sorry, Ekaterina. I got us killed. I rushed to withdraw my blade, but it was too late to block the wolf's attack. Ugh. The wolf's fangs broke my skin. If only I'd dodged the other direction. And that's a bad ending. Okay. Bad end of the hungry wolf. Failed to dodge assault by feral wolf. Okay, that's nice. Let's try that again. Slash to the left. Since my senses are reversed, I must slash to the left. I reflexively slashed my rapier to the right, so I had to sweat blood to swerve the blade. Urgh. My reaction time was slowed because I had to think twice before acting. The wolf's fang narrowly pierced my left thigh. Running away is too difficult right now, though I don't think I could lose them without Shadow's help either way. If this was Igor's scheme, I would have to compliment him for thinking with his brain for once. I don't think he can control wolves. If anything, the wizard talks to animals. But we have a deal. He shouldn't have a vested interest in wanting me dead. Nah, I think this is just poor bad luck or something. Maybe you're cursed. Maybe it's part of the curse that's got you all discombobulated. My agility has dropped because of my cut, but there is no time to stitch it up. If I think about moving in any particular direction, I'll end up moving in the opposite direction. I try to control the direction in reverse. My reaction time is slower. So, let's just follow my instincts instead of thinking. 1, 2, 3. There were exactly 13 wolf carcasses, each with their heart pierced through. Oh, that was fast. Good job, Ekaterina. You made quick work of that. The rest fled when they realized I wasn't easy prey. Well, dang, that was easy. If they didn't find an easier kill, there was always a chance they'd come back for me. Nonetheless, the threat disappeared for the time being. Good. The cut isn't deep. Blood dripped from the wound. I maintained a defensive position as I ripped a piece of cloth off of my dress and used it to stop the bleeding. Had the fang cut my thigh any deeper, I might have found myself in critical condition. My strategy of relying on my instincts worked, fortunately. I hypothesized that if I acted with a specific direction in mind, some sort of spell would reverse my sense of direction. When I get back, I'll have to ask Alexis what he thinks about my condition. My vision blurred and spun after that tough battle. My ringing ears and short breath were signs of a low body temperature. Okay, you're in really bad shape considering it seemed like you dispatched everything pretty quickly. The torn clothes and severe bleeding answered the question of why I was in this condition. It'll be a problem if it gets any darker. Well, good news. It looks like it's midday. The sun is high in the sky. We should have a good several hours of daylight. I can't keep fighting in this state. Good thing you already dispatched the wolves for now. If only Shadow were with me. A horse would be useful. She might slack off at times, but she would never ignore her partner being in danger. Even the elves might crowd around and make a fuss if they saw me like this. Let's not give them too much credit. Perhaps Alexis would also be worried about me. He's a little too flighty. He'd probably be like, "You're hurt? What? Where?" Oh, no. Oh, no. So there's a bear now. That's why they're making such a big deal about how she's in bad shape after the wolves, because now there's a bear. It's a dark forest full of lions, wolves, and bears. Oh, my. Oh, no. My thoughts exactly, Ekaterina. The scent of my blood had attracted an even larger predator. Are bears really attracted to the smell of blood? I'm not so sure about that. I have to check this now. No. The answer is no. Bears are not attracted to the smell of blood. And that's according to a Yellowstone National Park report. Its round face and ears gave it a benign, innocent appearance. I'm thinking you must be cursed, girl. There's no other explanation. Yet the sharp black scales sticking out between patches of fur couldn't mask the ferocity of this beast. Isn't that bear an Armarsis, known for their armor-like scales? Huh? Armorosis? Symptoms and treatment? A condition where people can't see out of their eyes? Okay, it's a made-up word. No idea if I'm saying it correctly. On top of that, it looks hungry, too. I'm in danger. What should I do? Oh, don't ask me! I'm gonna get us killed again. I mean, our only options are fight or flight, so it's like, run away or try to fight it, but they already just spent a full paragraph talking about how there is no possible way she could fight it. I guess we need to run? Which, I mean, if this was, Fate Stay Night or something, you know the answer would be fight anyway. But maybe this game also operates under that same logic that you have to face things head on anyway. I don't know. Too bad play dead's not an option. Isn't that what you're supposed to do with bears? Does playing dead work on bears? Well, a grizzly bear will leave you alone if you play dead. Black bear doesn't work. It is not a myth. Playing dead might save your life in other bear tips. Unless it's a polar bear or a black bear. I think it's like black bears, you gotta make yourself as big as possible. And polar bears, yeah, you're just dead. You're just dead. I'm gonna get us killed, but it seems true to her character that we should stay and fight. But doing what she wants to do seems like not the correct thing, and they did just spend a full paragraph talking about how fighting is not gonna work out for her. I don't think trying to run away is gonna work either, really. But maybe the horse will magically show up because maybe it's that kind of story. We'll just find out, I guess. I want to click fight, but I guess we'll try running away. A single blow was all it would take to kill me. Fighting an Armarsis was too high of a risk to take. I need to flee this area, now. I leapt to avoid the first blow. When I dodged the following blow as well, the Armarsis roared in annoyance. It's charging forward. I managed to gather the strength to vault to the opposite side. The Armarsis crashed into a tree at a frightening speed. With a terrible thud, the grand birch tree which took the hit fell to the ground. The impact didn't leave a single scratch on the bear, of course. It paid no attention to the fallen tree and turns its sights back to me. Why are you not running? Ugh. Okay, I guess you're just in bad shape overall. Gotcha. That dodge from earlier caused my right leg to cramp. Not now. I would be turned into goop if I didn't act immediately. Goop? Really? I would go with bloody mess, but okay. I'd be turned into goop if I didn't act immediately. I raised my rapier with a shaky hand and took a deep breath. The moment the Armarsis was about to charge for a second time. Divine intervention! A sharp whistle caught the bear's attention. Wait. It is his bear? Did he do this on purpose? Alexis. There came Alexis dashing towards us. He threw something amid the clopping of a familiar horse. While the Armarsis was distracted by the object, Alexis hastily jumped off of Shadow and draped his cape over my shoulders.
I'm sorry I was late.
No need for apologies. If anything, I'm wondering, is this your fault that she got attacked by a bear, just out of curiosity?
Let's head back to the tower.
I mean, yes. But seriously, is this your fault? Is that why you are apologizing? What a nice picture. And Shadow finally gets some recognition. Hi, Shadow. You're a surprisingly important character for a horse. There's a couple stories that are like that. How nice. Alexis swiftly lifted me up and put me on the saddle, wasting not a single second. Like that, we fled the scene. Was Alexis always so strong? As if he feared that I might fall off the horse, he firmly held onto my waist. How silly. I would never fall off a horse, even if I were injured. Well, you're sitting in a kind of precarious position that you would normally, so, I don't know. The elves sweated from sheer anxiety when they were met by Alexis's solemn expression. He refused to joke around or smile. The tiniest elf in particular shed tears as large as his own eyes. Okay, I take it all back. The elves are doing the normal reaction thing. I don't know exactly what changed, but apparently we're past all the weird beginning stuff where they were all just super bent on calling her a liar and stuff. So, okay. Okay, that's cool. I can roll with that.
Your pranks put Ekaterina Ivanova's life in danger.
Wait, it was the elves' fault? Dang! Okay, yes, you do have something that you were late for. That was... I mean, better late than never, but holy crud. That's not okay.
You should have heeded my warning the first time.
I assume he's still talking to the elves.
Regardless of how much you like human beings, you must never play pranks on them as you would to one another.
His warning reminded me of the drifting sparkles I saw when the baby elf touched me earlier. It was this elf. It was the silly little elf, and apparently they play horrible pranks like that when they like you. Interesting. Just more proof you never actually want to be beloved by the Fae folk. Perhaps they were indeed magical. The baby elf quietly listened to Alexis's lecture, like a child being scolded by his father.
Being young is no excuse. Since you broke the rule and played a forbidden prank, you must now bear an equivalent punishment.
What kind of punishment? Alexis paused for a moment.
That depends on the gravity of the wrongdoing.
Well, she actually got kind of banged up, so I don't know what you would consider equivalent for that.
It can range from being as lenient as restricting their entry and exit from the chimneys, to one as severe as confiscating their hat.
Oh wow, confiscating a hat, yeah. I can only assume there's some cultural difference there, because that sounds really lenient, as far as severity goes. The elves trembled like trees amid a storm at that last statement.
It may seem cruel, but there's no other choice. An elf must be responsible for their actions once they leave the fireplace.
Do you mean to say the elf may have to give away his hat?
It's as you suspect. Hats are like an elf's heart, and without it, he'll gradually cease to move.
Never mind, that's overkill. What will happen if he completely stops moving?
He will fall into an eternal sleep.
So death, you're talking about dying. Yeah, that's overkill. Remove anything's heart, it's gonna die. No? What? That is some weakness though right there. All you gotta do is steal an elf's hat and they're gonna die. Holy crud.
At that point, he won't come back, even if his hat is returned.
The atmosphere was so heavy that I couldn't bring myself to respond. I understood why the elves were forbidden from playing serious pranks on humans. I mean, the prank did cross a line. It seems really severe. Let the baby elf receive punishment. I would assume that Alexis would only do it for like a few minutes or something and then give it back. I think we probably need to just be lenient and be like, no harm, I mean, we're alive. It was a dangerous prank. Getting his hat taken away would be too harsh. I mean, I only lost a little bit of blood. I didn't lose an internal organ. It would have made me uncomfortable to see the baby elf have his hat, which was essentially his heart, taken away. I was positive that Alexis didn't want that to happen either. If I promise I'm okay, will you reduce the severity of his punishment, Alexis?
Ekaterina?
I patted the baby elf's tiny head. It's true that I may have been put in danger, but I don't think he intended to hurt me. Isn't that so? Yes. The baby elf gently nodded. Sorry.
You nearly died, Kate. Are you truly okay with this?
Alexis asked me again, almost as if he couldn't believe I made such a request. Dude, Ekaterina has been seriously nice ever since she got here. I don't know what your beef has been with her since the beginning. Who do you think I am? I was a little unsteady when I confronted the Armarsis, but I wasn't about to keel over and die. You kinda were, but let's not go there.
If you're positive, I suppose we can let it go this once.
The baby elf apologized countless times. His eyes were swollen from crying by the time he returned to the chimney. Alexis's first aid skills were terrible. It was as if he'd never done it before. There's a lot of things he apparently has never done before. It's kind of frustrating. Following my instructions, he ineptly cleaned the wound, applied ointment to it, and then bandaged my leg. You know, Katerina, I think it would have been easier if you just did it yourself at this point. After the quick first aid, he made stew for dinner. Again with the stew. My hunger was insatiable, so I gulped it down.
Kate.
Yes?
I'm sorry that you got hurt.
It wasn't your fault.
Quite the contrary.
Do tell.
I was well aware young elves' pranks could go too far. Yet I let my guard down.
Uh-huh. I pushed my empty bowl to the side and leaned back against my armchair. Alexis.
Yes?
When you said that elves would be punished if they played prohibited pranks, what you told me when we first met came to mind. It reminded me of your so-called punishment. You don't have to tell me what it is if you don't wish to. I just thought in that regard, you and the elves were quite similar. I'm pretty sure he is a fae of some kind. I know that you're a human, but you like sweets like them, know so much about them, and... they come to you for help, don't they? Like children running to their father. Aren't you also being punished for a mistake you made in the past? Alexis stared at the burning fireplace as he spoke.
A mistake. Perhaps it was. But I would make the same mistake all over again, even if I were given a second chance.
Okay, so yours is one of those righteous, I did a bad, but technically it was a good. Typical of male leads. That's cool. Alexis didn't explain further, because I'm sure that will be revealed in later chapters. I had no idea what this mistake of his was. I have another question for you, Alexis. What did you throw at the Armarsis earlier?
A sweet.
Do bears like sweets? Probably. They like honey, right?
Our Marcy especially loves sweets.
Something you baked yourself? Did they turn out better this time? Instead of answering my question, Alexis handed me colorful meringue cookies with a cup of tea.
Meringue. Merengue. Merengue. Meringue.
Apparently there's a number of completely normal pronunciations that are quite different. Instead of answering my question, Alexis handed me colorful meringue cookies with a cup of tea. Try the cookies, don't try them. I have no reason not to in this scenario. Let's try them. Unlike the burnt cookies I had this morning, these meringue ones look decent. I picked an appealing pink meringue cookie and took a half bite. Blech! Alexis burst into laughter when I frowned. Ew! Seeing Alexis laugh like a kid eased me up.
I've always wanted to try that prank myself.
Well, at least that one was harmless. No bear attacks this time. He was still his usual self. The man who loved sweets. The man who often spoke nonsense. And the man who always took me seriously. Does he, though? Oh well, whatever. I guess this is the sign that things are improving between the two characters. How lovely. Alexis, I have a question for you. The winter wind whistled beyond the frozen windows. The warmth on Alexis's face faded.
Kate, I believe we have visitors.
Oh my goodness, is that the assassins I've been worried about? I shouldn't sound so happy. Visitors. But the fireplace is still ablaze.
Not for me.
Yeah, Katerina, I'm pretty sure these are those assassins. I sure hope you're all recovered from the bear attack. We've got a night of heavy fighting ahead of us.
they're most likely here for you.
Chapter 6. Duel. I rushed to the window. Under the dark sky stood Igor, surrounded by a squadron of knights. I see. The thief incident must have been intended as a distraction for Romanov. But how? Those knights swore their loyalty to my father. They would never betray him just because he was bedridden. He could certainly bribe a couple of soldiers into obeying his orders. However, 2 months would definitely not be enough to persuade them all. I should find out what happened once I get back to the castle. For now, I can only hypothesize. Alexis stopped by my side. I have a question, Alexis.
What is it?
Do you know self-defense? That wasn't what I meant to ask. I figured Igor would bring a few soldiers with him, but the situation could become dire if any of them are experienced. I might not be able to protect both you and myself. As Alexis began to open his mouth, Igor shouted. Ekaterina Ivanova, you criminal! Open this gate immediately! Oh, they framed her for something. Okay, that makes sense. What is he talking about? I'm no criminal. No good could come from welcoming the entourage with an open gate, so I peeped out the window and shouted back. How dare you call me a criminal? Long time no see, Catty. He's become even more disgusting over the past 2 months. Igor smirked lecherously. Well done on securing the locks. What a wonderful bride-to-be. My compliments. Keep them to yourself. You'd better obey my orders and open the gate this time. Igor snapped his fingers, and Romanov was dragged out from amongst the soldiers, bound in ropes. How dare you take Romanov? Hostages already? Man, you are evil. And we'll have to find out what happens next time. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was as entertaining for you as it was for me, and I hope you have a good one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!